Victor used to be the kind of man who stared at his phone like it held his worth. Each minute that passed without her reply felt like a quiet insult. It didn't start that way. In the beginning, her messages came in like music, spontaneous, frequent, sweet. She was engaged, curious, alive in the conversation. But then it happened. The shift. First, it was the late replies, then the dry responses, then silence. She ignored him. Not once, not by mistake, but like it was intentional. And Victor, the man who once thought himself calm and centered, suddenly felt like a boy again, anxious, overthinking, and desperate to understand. He stared at the chat thread, asking himself the same maddening question. Why is she doing this? But this wasn't just about her. It was about what her silence revealed in him. The truth was brutal. She had the power because he had given it to her. The Stoic beginning. One night, unable to sleep, Victor sat on the edge of his bed with Meditations by Marcus Aurelius in his hand. The cover was worn, the pages curled, but it felt alive in his palm, more alive than her conversations ever were. He read, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Victor closed the book, took a breath, and for the first time in weeks he made a decision. I won't chase her. I will chase my strength. That night the healing began, not because she returned, but because he did. 1. Control the frame or be framed. When she ignores you, your mind wants to invent reasons. She's testing me. Maybe she's busy. I probably said something wrong. But the Stoic doesn't play detective. He doesn't beg the world for answers. He masters the one thing under his control, his emotional frame. Victor stopped asking why she changed. He asked why he had made her behavior his mirror. If your frame depends on her attention, you've already lost. The true Stoic doesn't react to silence. He interprets it as space, and in that space he builds himself to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved. Marcus Aurelius. Victor became that rock, not because she replied, but because it no longer mattered. 2. Silence is her message. Don't translate it, honor it. Women speak in many ways. Words are one form. Silence is another. When a woman ignores you, she is saying something, and the Stoic man doesn't plead for clarity. He receives the silence like a letter with no return address. If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. It is the truth I seek. Marcus Aurelius. Truth, if she's ignoring you, she has already made a choice. The question is, will you make yours? Victor stopped checking the chat. He stopped scrolling through old photos. He stopped reacting to silence with confusion. Instead, he responded with presence. He didn't text. He trained. He didn't complain. He conquered his day. For don't break no contact, build no weakness. One of the greatest Stoic moves is restraint. Victor wanted to send that one last text. Just a "Hey, how are you?" Just to break the awkward silence. But he didn't. Why? Because the urge to send it wasn't strength. It was weakness wearing the mask of just being nice. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Victor reminded himself, every message you send after being ignored is a small confession of need, not love. Need. So he replaced the impulse to reach out with a stronger impulse. To grow. He hit the gym harder. He journaled deeper. He worked louder. He built a life so powerful in her absence that even her silence began to echo with regret. 4. Stop fantasizing. Start observing. The emotional man fantasizes. She probably still cares. Maybe she's confused. Maybe she needs time. The Stoic man observes. Victor asked himself, would I accept this behavior from a friend? Would I teach my son to chase silence? Am I rewarding disrespect with pursuit? Look at things as they are, not as your emotions color them. Marcus Aurelius. A woman's attention should be a response to your presence, not a test of your patience. She is not confused. She is choosing not to respond. And when you finally accept what you're seeing, you stop chasing what you're imagining. 5. Build a life that replies louder than you could. Victor's life had been orbiting her. His hobbies paused. His discipline faded. His mission blurred. Because he thought her attention was the reward. But that's where he was wrong. The reward is who you become when she stops watching. He started learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He got promoted at work. He read Meditations cover to cover, twice. And then, One day she texted, "Hey, haven't heard from you in a while. What's up?" Victor smiled, not because she texted, but because by then he didn't need her to. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. He had dyed his soul in purpose. Now his silence was more powerful than her curiosity. 6. Don't let her indifference become your identity. Victor once believed that if a woman ignored him, it meant he wasn't enough. But the Stoic knows, a woman's indifference is a reflection of her state, not your value. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Marcus Aurelius. Your ambition defines your worth, not her attention span. So Victor did something radical. He stopped seeing himself through her absence and started seeing himself through his resilience. Every day she ignored him, he got stronger. Every message he didn't send, he gained power. By the time she noticed the man he was becoming, she was no longer the woman he desired. 7. The power of detachment is the power to choose. Victor realized he was never heartbroken over her. He was heartbroken over his attachment to the idea of her. Her silence became unbearable only because he had placed his sense of certainty in her validation. The Stoic man detaches, not to become emotionless, but to become emotionally free. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. Marcus Aurelius. Victor detached. He didn't wish her harm. He didn't wish her back. He just wished for peace. And peace only came when he let go, not of her, but of the illusion that he needed her to feel whole. Redirection is divine protection. Victor's silence, his stillness, his refusal to chase wasn't punishment. It was redirection. She had become a distraction dressed as a dream. And the universe had to remove her to remind him, your path is bigger than her validation. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Being ignored hurt, but it made him observe his ego, his impulses, his dependency on female approval. And in the ashes of that pain, he forged something greater. Self-mastery. 9. Make your life so loud. Her silence is background noise. Victor began to shine again. He laughed with friends. He wrote his first ebook. He gave a speech that went viral online. She watched quietly from the distance. And that's the paradox. The moment you stop needing her response, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. But by then, you might not want her back, because you now see the bigger truth. She ignoring you was a gift, a permission slip to remember who you were before you met her. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Marcus Aurelius. 10. Final power. Walk away with silence, stronger than her words. When Victor got her final message, it was longer than usual. I've just had a lot going on. Things have been crazy. I miss what we had. Maybe we could talk sometime? And Victor, who once would have written her a poem, replied with 4 simple words. Wish you the best. No hate. No game. Just peace. Because he wasn't bitter. He was better. And better men don't chase ghosts. They build legacies. 10 Marcus Aurelius suggestions for when she ignores you. 1. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Control your emotional response, not her behavior. 2. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What you focus on shapes who you become. For to love only what happens, what was destined. Accept her silence as necessary, not personal. 4. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. You lose nothing by losing someone who doesn't value you. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Don't explain yourself to her, prove yourself to you. The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. Don't respond with silence to punish. Use it to build. 7. Look well into thyself. All strength starts inward, and what stands in the way becomes the way. Her ignoring you is not the end. It's your awakening. 9. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Her actions can't hurt you unless you let them. 10. The impediment to action advances action. Use her distance to deepen your discipline. You are not defined by who texts you. You are defined by how you respond to silence. Most men panic when a woman ignores them. But the Stoic man transforms. Let her silence be your sanctuary. Let her distance be your dojo. Let her indifference be the moment you become invincible. Because in the end, it's not about getting her back. It's about getting yourself back. If you're ready to become the kind of man who doesn't need to be chosen, because he has already chosen himself, then join us. Subscribe to Stoic Force, where emotional mastery is the mission, and your purpose is the only pursuit. Her silence is not your end, it's your beginning.